Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've glanced at a newsfeed lately, you already know the world is moving at an absolute breakneck pace. We're being bombarded with updates on everything from artificial intelligence to global conflicts, and honestly, it can feel pretty much impossible to keep up. But that's exactly why we're here. Today, our mission is to decode the massive news dump from the May 2026 global briefing. We're going to cut right through the noise to show you exactly how all these seemingly random global events are actually deeply intertwined.
Okay, let's dive into this. 100. That is the sheer number of key high-level insights generated in today's global briefing alone. 100 massive, world-shifting headlines covering politics, economics, technology, defense, and climate. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed by the news cycle right now, trust me, your feelings are completely validated.
So, the real question is, how do you actually make sense of 100 different global headlines without losing your mind? Well, we aren't going to just read you a dry list of facts. Instead, we're going to connect the dots. We're going to build a story and show you exactly how a military drill on one side of the planet directly impacts the technology in your pocket and the price of your next flight.
Here is our roadmap to make sense of the chaos. Chapter 1. A fractured global order. 2. Economic shockwaves and shifts. 3. The AI technology explosion. 4. Climate realities and green energy. And finally, number 5. How we play and watch.
All right, Chapter 1. A fractured global order. We are mapping the geopolitical fault lines.
Right now, we are seeing a massive geopolitical push and pull. On one side, there's a highly coordinated push for new systems. You've got BRICS countries actively looking at how to reduce their dependence on Western financial institutions. Meanwhile, India and several African nations are strongly demanding permanent reform in the UN Security Council, basically arguing that the current setup is just outdated. But in reaction to these shifting plates and rising global tensions, traditional alliances are really buckling down. NATO is actively reviewing its future defense strategies, and nations like the US and Japan are tightening up their regional security partnerships in the Indo-Pacific. It's this fascinating simultaneous tug-of-war between the demand for new structures and the reinforcement of old ones. And all these shifting plates, they create massive friction. It's literally a domino effect. Think about it. Middle East instability isn't just a local issue. It causes sharp fluctuations in global oil prices and disrupts critical shipping routes. Then you have the Russia-Ukraine war, putting this intense strain on the global food supply. Add in China's military drills near Taiwan, which raises serious concerns about shipping vulnerabilities in the Indo-Pacific. Every single military tension acts exactly like a domino, knocking right into a global supply chain or energy market next to it.
Let's move to Chapter 2 and see how this builds. Economic shockwaves and shifts. The price of instability.
All that geopolitical tension we just talked about comes with a massive price tag. There are 4 main pressures right now keeping global banks awake at night and making stock markets super jittery. We've got wars in geopolitics, which we just covered, high inflation driven mostly by fuel and food costs, massive supply chain disruptions, and rising interest rates that are just tapping the brakes on growth. These 4 factors are locked in this vicious cycle right now, putting immense pressure on the global economy.
To give you a very specific, real-world example of how these shockwaves actually hit the ground, look at global airlines. They are really struggling right now. Why? Because the geopolitical tensions in the Middle East cause oil prices to fluctuate wildly, which spikes jet fuel costs. That significantly increases their daily operating costs. And ultimately, that means more expensive international travel for you and me.
But here's the thing. The global economy right now is full of these crazy contradictions. We see very real struggles. Airlines hit by fuel, real estate stalling out because of high interest rates, and manufacturing completely squeezed by broken supply chains. But then, on the flip side, you have these economic safe havens. Gold prices are surging as investors look for security, and e-commerce just continues to grow at breakneck speed. And in a totally fascinating twist of economic irony, luxury brands are staying unexpectedly strong. Apparently, a global inflation crisis doesn't actually stop the demand for high-end handbags. It's this completely fractured landscape where basic manufacturing struggles to keep the lights on, while luxury absolutely thrives.
Now, what's really interesting is how this next piece fits in. Chapter 3. The AI technology explosion. The invisible thread.
If geopolitics is the hammer hitting the global economy, generative AI is the invisible thread rapidly rewiring everything else in the background. It is currently attracting absolute record-breaking investments from around the world. It's completely transforming startups, digital media, and cloud computing as it rapidly pumps out increasingly realistic text, voice, and video content.
But listen, we're way beyond just basic chatbots here. AI's reach touches almost every single sector we've discussed today. We're seeing AI drive robotics in healthcare and logistics. It's powering those crazy new advanced features on your smartphone. It is a critical component in next-generation military drones and missile defense. It's both the weapon and the shield in global cybersecurity. And of course, it's driving the explosion of viral video content online. AI is literally everywhere.
And because AI touches everything from missile defense to your personal phone, data privacy is suddenly paramount. Global leaders are scrambling to draft regulations to control these risks, but honestly, the pace of this technology is vastly outstripping the speed of regulation. That makes your personal data security a really urgent focal point on the world stage right now.
Which brings us to a much more grounded reality. Chapter 4, Climate Realities and Green Energy, the physical toll.
While everyone is busy debating digital regulations, the physical reality of our planet is demanding action. We are seeing severe heat waves affecting multiple countries and creating massive health concerns, while changing weather patterns are drastically increasing the risk of floods. But in response, we're seeing some massive global action. Record-breaking investments are pouring into renewable energy, expanding green infrastructure and climate technology startups.
So the crucial point is, if you really want to know where the world is heading, follow the money. Unprecedented capital is aggressively flowing into three towering pillars: renewable energy to combat the climate reality, artificial intelligence to win the tech race, and defense budgets to secure borders in a fractured world. Those three sectors, they are the engines currently driving global capital.
But even with billions flowing through boardrooms, there is a very real, distinctly human element on the ground. Climate activists are demanding much faster, much more aggressive government action. There's this undeniable, palpable tension between the long-term financial investments being made and the urgent, immediate demands of the people actually feeling the physical toll of extreme weather today.
All right, let's take a breath. Chapter 5, How We Play and Watch, Finding Escapism.
Because let's be honest, after unpacking global conflicts, economic anxiety, rapid AI, and climate crises, humanity needs a break. And this brilliantly illustrates how global entertainment is booming as our preferred form of digital escapism. South Korean entertainment and K-pop remain massive global influencers. Millions upon millions are tuning into esports competitions and digital chess platforms. Even traditional sports like basketball are seeing record-breaking streaming audiences, and streaming platform subscriptions just keep rising. We are eagerly seeking out connection and distraction.
And I definitely want to single out this specific trend because it is one of the most universally positive bright spots in today's briefing. Women's sports are experiencing an absolute surge in global popularity. We're talking massive new investments, record viewership, and some seriously long overdue international recognition. It is an incredibly powerful cultural shift happening right alongside everything else we've discussed.
So, there you have it. We've connected the dots. We've seen how a fractured political order strains our wallets, how AI weaves through our defense systems and media, and how climate realities are reshaping global investments. But the story is still being written. Looking at this massively interconnected board, with geopolitical tensions rising and AI rapidly evolving, which of these dominoes do you think is going to fall next? What trend do you believe will truly define the rest of 2026? Think about it and keep learning.